Good evening from New York. I'm Selwyn Collins, your host of CWS Journeys. Welcome to another edition. Those of you who are joining us for the first time, thank you very much. This evening, I have as my guest a very beautiful young lady. She's on the other side of the screen. She is a gem of Guyana. Her name is Yonnette Hooper. Yonnette, good evening and welcome to CWS Journeys.
Good evening, Selwyn. And I'm very, very happy to be here.
Thank you, Yonnette. Yonnette, when people describe you, I'm just going to go right into it. When people describe you, what are some of the things that they say that are mostly correct?
Well, they say I'm beautiful, which is correct. They say I'm very talented, which is correct. They say I'm very educated and I'm not stupid. I know exactly how to express myself, which is correct. And I say I'm my father's child.
Your father's child.
Yes.
We'll get into that. I want to ask you, if you were not a performer, a singer, if you weren't doing these things, what would you be doing? What would you like to confront?
I think if I wasn't a singer or a performer on stage, I would have been a healthcare worker.
Okay.
Yes.
Why?
Because I just love caring for people. There's a part of me that I just love caring for people. I just like to know that I can be able to lend a helping hand and help somebody who is in need. Something I always love doing and been working all my life to become a RN. But the music always keep getting in the way.
Music.
Yes.
You know, we're going to touch on your famous dad in a moment, but of your two parents, this passion for helping people and empowering people, which of them do you think you got that from?
I think I got it from both my parents. I got it from my dad and my mom. Because my dad was always one of those kind of people who always see something that in a person and he always wanted to bring out the best in them. And my mom, she was such a caring and loving person that there was nothing that's too much for her to share. So I think I take it from both sides of the coin.
Why are
I
you
give
so?
my dad all the credit.
Why are you so driven, Yonnette?
Why I'm so driven? I'm driven because I just know to myself that there's so much I can do. And there is something in me that always fighting to come out of it, something in me that's just bursting to come out. And I'm driven because I'm passionate about me and what I love doing. When I look around me, I see the world has so much to offer, but I know to myself I'm being placed on the face of this earth for a purpose. And I tried in every single way to use my purpose and use it wisely because we only have one life to live.
I want to try to tap into where this might have come from and where it began. So let's go back into your early timeline. Give us a glimpse of Yonnette growing up in Guyana at the ages of 9 and then at 15.
Okay, at the age of 9. At the age of 9, we had just moved from the West Bank because we had lost our home in 1976 to fire. That's prior to coming back from Suriname because my dad took us to live in Suriname. So coming back to Guyana, losing our home on the West Bank of Good Intent, moving to the East Coast, going to school on the East Coast, because like I tell people, I've attended so many schools that I can't count all my resumes on one hand. I need a whole book to write it. Seriously, seriously. I've attended so many schools from nursery all the way up to when I became an adult. And I'm always the unfortunate one because I'm like the middle of two girls, right? So I'm always the unfortunate one. My elder sister, she always had assistance. My little sister, she always had assistance. But me, I'm always stuck in the middle, fending for myself.
That's it. So at 15.
15, my mom left for Trinidad to pursue her dream as a hair specialist.
Mm-hmm.
So we were forced to go overseas. So at 15, I was raising myself. My first job at 15, actually, I started my first job at 15, babysitting somebody's house. Back in them days when people were trading and they need people to take care of the home, I'm babysitting somebody's home, going to school, trying to earn my keep. Because you know when your parents leave Guyana at them tender age, it's like they will take that for them send you borrow and take back to Guyana, but at the same time, the money coming the way it should be coming. So you have to for yourself. So me, I was babysitting somebody else for $2,000 a month. And the first week, the guy said to me, "Oh, clean my suitcase because we're going on a trip." They said, "I ain't your maid." I forgot I was working for her. And at 15, I quit.
So you were making money from an
Oh yeah,
from
from
an early age.
early age, I was making money.
And you talk about going to various schools and so on. Was school fun for you? Did you like it?
Funny enough, I used to love going to school because there were so many things you can do when you go to school. When I started nursery school when they were using slates. You remember slate?
Yes.
And the slate pencil, right?
Yes, I remember. Of course.
And back then, school was in somebody's bottom house, right? Because I grew up with my grandma in the quarantine area. I went to Cortland, when I leave nursery school, I went to Cortland, Columbus, and that's also in Burmese. But I already spent a long time there. Some of my years, is like, if I went to school like for one semester, which we say is one term, from there my dad would pick us up from there, took us over to Suriname. I went to school in Suriname for a short period of time. My little sister taught me Dutch.
Your little sister?
Yes, the one after me said. She taught me Dutch because I was at a place in the school whereby I was in like second standard, I would say, which is a grade 2. She was in nursery school. So she was able to learn from ABC all the way to 1, 2, 3. So whenever she learned, she would come home and she'd be like, Yonnette, that teacher out in Java teach me in school today because she could talk plain. So she taught me Dutch, So school for me was exciting, but at the same time it was a sad time in my life because I didn't have the support like my sister had. She was preparing for common entrance, the big one. She had like a home school teacher who was training her, preparing her for common entrance. Me, I was left alone to babysit the rest.
What is your fondest memories of your parents?
My dad and mom. My mom and dad, I could say, they are the most loving couple.
Wow.
Anybody could ask for. I think they are the best parents. That's what I should say, because with my mom and dad, there was something special about my mom and dad. They never had a quarrel in front of us. They never had a fight in front of us. They never had a disagreement in front of us. And as a child growing up, watching a model parent, is the best parent I could have asked for. And if I was to turn the clock back, I wouldn't want another set of parents. I want those same two parents.
Your dad,
Yes.
famous written many songs, produced and so on and so forth. Do you remember any words of wisdom from both of them? But let's start with the mom first, and then we go to dad. Any words of wisdom that you still remember to this day, still resonate with you?
My father was very inspirational. So he was so inspirational that all of his songs were inspirational songs, truth and right. He speak of what's going on in the country. Like for example, my dad had a song called "Tell the PM What the People Say." And as you grow older and you start thinking back to the lyrics of the song, it says, "Tell the PM what the people say. He said the bandits in government watch them night and day. Tell the PM that we do love him, but the vandals in the cabinet spoiling a good thing." He was talking at the time of the ratchet that was going on in the government in our country. As for my mom, she was my dad's biggest inspiration because most of the songs that he written was about their love affair. Yes.
If you were to eavesdrop your parents, just listening on them telling a stranger about you, what do you think each of them would say? How would it describe you?
I think if, my dad, my dad, I remember one time, because my dad did a lot of production work inside of the house, right?
Uh-huh.
Where he would record all the big artists like Lady Diamond and all of them. And I told him he was like a producer also, right?
Yeah.
And my older sister, Karen, she had a way, she can sing and everything, but she was shy. So my dad used to want to show off her talent to these singers and these musicians when they come to the house. So because I want to be noticed, he bring Karen to sing with your return, and I feel left out. So I'm like, Daddy, I want to sing too. But as I was saying, Karen, you're too lazy. So my dad, me as a child, he was so lazy. Me and my little sister, we is very low. But as we grow older, I think if he had gotten to know me now as an artist, as a singer, as an entertainer, he would be very proud of me.
But let me ask you this though, that you mentioned. Here is your dad who you looked up to, this famous singer, producer, and he's telling you when you were a child, go in the corner, you were too noisy, right? But that didn't affect you in a negative way.
No. I was determined.
You were determined.
I was determined.
So in retrospect, you kind of thank him for that.
I love him for that. But he made me who I am today because of the determination of me to prove to him that he should invest time in me. You know what I mean?
I got it.
I wanted to prove to him that, look, this same lazy girl will make you proud.
So 3 sisters, all of you can sing.
Yes.
How many brothers?
Well, I have, in all my dad, I have 10 children. I have 5 sisters alongside myself, 6 and 4 brothers. Out of the 4 brothers, one sings. His name is Jules. Very, very talented young man.
Jules.
Yes, Jules. They call him Fire Juice. Right now he's got like 3 albums out that he recorded in Jamaica. And he is very talented. If you hear him sing my dad's music, he will swear my dad's singing.
Really?
Yes, because he's like the junior of my dad. The first time my mom saw him on stage, she said all that the antique he got, every single last ounce drop of that antique this boy have. Is the way he performs on stage, the way he sings, the way his expression on his face, and everything. He is so talented that I don't think they make them like him no more.
So, all these women you're around, your mother, who you respect and admire so much, and you mentioned growing up with your grandmother. So, I'm curious about the women in your life. Who are some women who have made a great impact on you that you still admire and respect?
My mom, even though she's dead now, she was one of my biggest, I'm her biggest fan because I admire her a lot. My grandma, kudos to her. I love my grandma. That's my dad's mother.
Yes.
Those are the 2 women that I think they played a big part in my life because I grew up with my grandma. I grew up with my grandma from a tender age because my mom, she traveled a lot with my dad.
Give me something about grandma that you remember. You always remember.
My grandmother, Cecilia Welch, my father's mother. She was this tall, strapping, good-looking woman. And take, for example, they used to have parties and things at the house, and she taught us how to dance. When she see me whining, because there's all the teaching us to do whining, she would say, yeah, I know whining. And I think that's where I got some of my, this from. She said, yeah, I know how to whine. She said, I teach you how to whine. My grandma would stand up and she'd circle her waist to the right, then she'd circle her waist to the left, and then she'd circle. She said, that's why you whine. You don't just circle on one side all the time. So I took that from her. Whenever I'm performing on stage, I remember she said, you just whine both sides. You don't whine on one side only.
This music journey of yours, Yonnette. You've said that your dad, when you were very, very young, and you were begging to go and sing, you say go in the corner and so on. But give us an idea as to when did the journey actually begin, and at what point you transitioned into a professional? Yes.
Okay, my first experience singing, literally singing, was my father was taking us to go and see the launching of If Wishes Were Hearses, which is a movie that he did all the soundtrack for. I don't know if you ever heard
Is that so?
Yes.
Of course, I saw it several times.
That's my dad's work. Yes, that's my dad's work.
Wow, go ahead.
And he was taking us to see the preview of Wishes Voices. And that was around the matrimony time it was being done. So he took us out of school, take us into Georgetown. That's when we met Cicely Baird for the first time. You heard of Cicely Baird?
Yes.
Right. She was heading the Ministry of Culture at the time, I think. However, he took us to GBC radio station. And he said to her, he's taking us to see Wishes Voices. And she said to him, before you go with them to Wishes Voices, I think you should take them to the Kiddies Carnival. They can see Wishes Voices again at some other time. Well, my sister and I were in the program to see Wishes Voices. So, Daddy took us into the studio that very day. I was like 4, 5. My sister, Karen, she was like 7. I was 5, she was 7, yes. And that was the first time I did my first ever recording.
Really?
Yes. We recorded the back to school song. Come back then in Guyana, they used to do broadcast to school back in the 70s. They used to do broadcast to school. And I remember every morning you go to school, you have to listen to broadcast to school. And my dad had written a lot of music for the school. One of them which was way down in Guyana. Cutting in the blazing sun. Walk from one until the day is done. You're feeling happy because they come. You enjoy fun with your flatty rum. Way down in Guyana, right?
Yes.
And my sister and I, we sang the song. And we were the lead singers. And all the school kids they had in the back, doing the backup, singing the way down in Guyana. Right? And that was my first recorded song playing across Guyana. But a lot of people don't know we were the lead singers for that song. A lot of people don't know.
And then the professional transition.
My transition from then to the professionalism of my music. I took a trip to London to study. I went away to England in 1990 to study. I went there to study nursing. No, rewind. Rewind. I performed with the police band. The Guyana police band during the time of Belbag, Mornum time.
Right.
I was attending Bradenall Secondary School. Sid was attending Paradise Primary School. But because we were the bravest of the group of children, people always come in and take us and put us in concerts. They would put us on stage shows. My dad introduced art and culture to us, like ballet dancing, to us when I was like 9 years old. So Shaft, we danced with Shaft. We won excellence and merits and all these things performing YSM at the Natural Culture Center. And then they wanted to take us to Cuba. At the time I was 14, my sister was just 12 Sid. My uncle said to me, that's my mom's brother-in-law, that over my dead body again in Cuba.
So you never made it to Cuba?
We never made it.
Do you regret?
I was upset.
Yeah.
I wanted to go because,
Would have been a great experience.
because I was going to be in the teacher's class because that's how highly they had seen my performance. And my sister, she was going to be in the junior class. So we both were going to be in Cuba dancing. And that was a big thing, where art and culture of Guyana spread across the spectrum like that.
What was it like growing up around your father?
I think...
And I mean, well, let me narrow it down. In terms of music, him producing for the likes of, you said Lady Guy in Mind, Sparrow.
For us, when you're children and your father is into art and culture, some things you take for granted. Even though I know he was working, doing production work for these artists and things, putting them on, because he's responsible for a lot of those artists that become kings and queens in Guyana in terms of, he's responsible for MASH existing today in Guyana. So when people come to the house, you're always happy that he has company because you get a chance to go outside and play. Because once we have no visitors, it's hard for us to go outside and play. So we're happy for things like those. But as you grow older and you become mature and you understand the essence of all that was going on, and now that I'm a musician myself and involved in music, I realized that My dad played an intricate part in Guyana culture, so powerful that, I think today he's still only proud of the work that he's done. But I'm proud to have him as my father.
What is one thing about him you know or have come to learn that might surprise most people?
I want many things. One of the things, like when I tell you he's the one who did all the soundtracks for Wishes and Verses. A lot of people still don't know my father did all the tracks. Another thing, he was the producer of Capsolos and Sparrow. A lot of people don't know that.
Have you met Sparrow?
Oh yeah.
What was that? What was that like?
Meeting the birdie.
The birdie.
That's what they call it. My first experience of meeting Miss Sparrow was in Trinidad in 1998 when I went there to bury my mom when she passed away. 97 she passed. I performed in Trinidad in 98. And that was my first experience of meeting Sparrow in person. And you know what, Selwyn? Meeting Sparrow in person was the greatest thing ever. Honestly, it was the greatest thing ever. I was performing in the tent, the Freshwater Yankee tent. A tent came out from America with lots of foreign artists, Trinidadians. I was the only Guyanese in this tent, youngest, never win any crown in my life. There amongst all the big guns. And you know what they say big guns what I mean? The big guns mean everybody has a crown. Sparrow is so much time, Road March King, Soca King, Kaiso King. And me, I ain't in a damn thing. I ain't know nothing about no crown. All I know was just elated.
Were you nervous?
Nervous? I was very excited for it because I get the chance to be on stage in Trinidad, showing off the stuff. Nervous? Listen, when I'm on stage somewhere, I'm never nervous. That's the place I believe I was born to be. Yeah, I'm born for the stage. So being on stage is when I'm at my happiest. It's like a light shines in me and it's like a fire just waiting to burn in me. Give me a mic in my hand and I go to the night.
One last question about your dad. How are you like him in your approach to music?
I'm a father's child. His music and music is me.
Wow.
I am my father's child. If I don't have music, I think I'll die. Because music is me and I'm music.
You have your